Hello lovelies, and welcome to today's video. My name's Alya and I'm so glad you stopped by. Today is a really special bridal wrapping tutorial video, so I would love to show a brand new Kalah what she can expect to need and want and how to use it straight after that special day. So if you can stick around and watch a few basic looks to get a young bride started. For my first recommendation, we'll call it, I would really love for every bride to have something nostalgic. So this is my mum's, and I've kind of permanently borrowed it. I think it's really important to give you something that has sort of connection, has grounding, has meaning, and something that makes you feel super proud to wear. It doesn't have to be something from a family. It could be just a scarf with a memory for you. It could be something that you loved wearing around your neck and now you've moved it over to your headscarves. It doesn't really matter what the origin of your story is, but I would highly recommend that there has to be one that just makes you feel grounded while you're getting used to your new life and your new role and all the excitement that comes with it. So this one's really bright and cheery, which is another reason I love it. It puts me in an amazing mood, not just because it's mum's, but because it's just so fun, and the women in my family tend to be really into their black and white statement pieces. So I guess that's why I am too. So all I've done is I've put it down, I've gathered it at the back as two ponytails and crossed them over. Very, very straightforward. I've made sure that the whole time it's really, really nicely gripped to my head. The other thing is I've just used the pattern to fold the same picture on itself. If it doesn't work out for the pattern, you can also fold it under. Next I'm going to take the two edges, bring them together, and using the folded edge, so not the open edge, but the closed edge, I'm going to bring it over my head, sort of caressing it to fold nicely as I do it, and just let it hang on the other side. Same thing on the other side. This is the fun part, is learning to find your way around your scarf. And again, just caressing it to the other side. For a beginner bride, for a beginner wrapper, not just a bride, I would recommend to start wrapping with no earrings in. I've intentionally taken mine out because when you're starting out, you just don't want any extra stuff in the way or to throw you off. I've also got my hair in a really high bun and really, really slicked back. That is the way to start, I think, because until you start acquiring accessories and things to help you get your scarf on and stay on, the easiest thing to utilize is your hair. Putting it into a high or medium slicked back bun, using a nice fat scrunchie to hold it down, is the easiest thing that anybody could do just with a trip to the supermarket or chemist. It's very straightforward. Eventually, of course, all the tools and all the velvet bits and pieces, the bobas and the hats and all the undergarments do come in handy, but in the beginning, I think just whatever you have in your cupboard is enough. And maybe a trip to the Rapunzel website or Little Tichel Lady website, or even here in Melbourne, Myers is an amazing wealth of selection. We're very much about our accessories here in Melbourne, so it's very easy to find things just in the shops as well. So this is look one. So all I've done is I've tied it back under my bone. So we've all got, just here, some sticking out bones, okay, just at the very base of our head, just before the neck starts. So if you do sort of this at the top of your hairline, the back, you'll find two sticky out bits. They're your occipital protuberances. They're there to protect your occipital lobe in your brain, but they're also really convenient little shelves to hold your scarf in place as well. So I don't have anything on underneath and it's holding on really well. This is rayon, wonderful material, very breathable, very thin, so it won't make you hot, but also it just folds really nicely. It behaves almost like a silk or something like that. Like, it's a really playful material, very soft, cotton linen-y kind of texture. Beautiful, except cotton and linen tend to get really creased. Rayon won't crease. So this is really lovely. And you get these two little fun tails at the back and it makes you feel like you have hair. So it's also very familiar feeling on your head, and you sort of can be a bit more aware of what's going on, and it's a bit more comfortable. It just feels like you're wearing a headband if you compare it to wearing just your hair out. The other thing I would say is, even though you're slicking your hair back and you're tying it up high and all that sort of thing, you don't have to tie it tight. You're better off using a bobby pin here and there just to hold it in place, or an extra scrunchie than making it too tight, because that can cause headaches. Same thing with the knot at the back. It's just a single knot. It's not too tight. I could move it if I really wanted to, but when I shake my head, nothing happens. My next recommendation is actually a little bit, and I had a really big think about showing this in my video today. This is a shawl. It's massive. It's a huge, huge scarf. I'll show you. Massive, massive scarf. This is folded in half. Normally this is a lot of material to navigate, and it would be not for a beginner at all. However, the colors being so beautiful in springtime, the lightweight fabric, again very similar to the previous one, and just the girliness of this. You're about to become the head of a family. You're about to become a woman in a household. Very, very, very massive role. A role that also has a lot of responsibilities for sure, but has so much blessings attached to it. And with that blessing, with those blessings I should say, you do have a certain, I guess, luxury that comes with that. What am I talking about? I'm saying that when you are the one that's, you know, bringing so much light into the house, when you're the one who's bringing good into the world with remarkable access, what I found when I became a mum especially is that your daily choices, second to second, can bring so much light. You put very minimum time, but a lot of thought and effort, and a lot of good can come from every decision that you make and every action you make. So this is a very short, fat fold. This is by a brand called Piper. They do sell it at the Maya that I spoke of. Australian brand as far as I know. What I love about this scarf is for its size, it gives you great volume. It's actually not that hard to manipulate. So all I've done is I've just gathered it really, really, really tight. I'm going to cut to this bit here because as I folded it up, because it's just so short and fat, you can actually see everything underneath. And I'm just going to tie it. Again, all you got to do is be really, really strict with the fabric, like you would be with your hair. And look at that. In one fell swoop, you have a really easy turban. And it's just enough on my head to get it tied up at the back, because it was a really short fold to start with. And look at that. Because I've got so much fabric, you get beautiful height, you get gorgeous pattern because the colors are amazing. It's a really light fabric, so I don't mind that it's really thickly folded. It's not hot. It stays on beautifully. Again, it's that rayon. You get really, really stunning folds, and you get this height, which is amazing. And you get a beautiful shape from it, which I absolutely love. When you're searching for your scarves to purchase, look at the color story, because these are things that are sitting right next to your face. I don't love wearing a flat white because it can be quite stark, and also because it's on your head, if there's anything, you know, if you get a bit of staining on it or anything like that, it can be very obvious. This, you get away with anything. And I really like that it makes me look quite tanned. It gives my skin a bit of a glow, but it's not a flat white. It doesn't drain my color. It doesn't make it really stark against my skin tone. So whatever you would wear under your face, you would probably quite happily wear over your face too. Really easy trick, guys. Yes, it's a lot of material to contend with. It can be a little bit daunting and overwhelming, but if you give it a bit of patience, definitely don't do it when you're rushing out the door. Take your time, give it a bit of patience, and these really floofy scarves can actually be a really great hack once you get a little bit of practice. And just treat it like hair. Honestly, I don't do anything different with my scarves than I do when I'm putting up a ponytail. The difference is my ponytail needs a hair tie of some sort to hold it in place. This, I can just tie it off or fold it in on itself, and that's all it needs doing. Look at that gorgeousness. Now, it won't turn out perfect every time. Not even for me, not even after doing this for 3 years. So definitely give it some patience, give it a little bit of trial and error. If it doesn't work out, my advice is put it down, take a different scarf, come back, and come back and come back and come back, and never give up on a scarf that you love, because one day it will just click and work for you, just like that hairstyle that wasn't quite working itself out and then one day it just did. My last scarf is another interesting choice. Now this is technically a pashmina, but it's a very thin, loosely woven pashmina, so it's kind of see-through. It's got this gorgeous tiger on it as well, but that's not for today. I'm going to more concentrate on this, well, not tiger, it would be a leopard, wouldn't it? I'm going to concentrate on the leopard print instead. So very simple, just put it down and then sort of hang it up to about your nose. Make sure that at the back, you've just got it gathered against the back of your neck like that. And I've got it very evenly. All of the ones I've had today have been fairly even. Now from your nose, from the tip of your nose, you should roughly get to the top or the front of your bun. Sorry, I'm just very cautious. I've got a bobby pin here. I don't want to snag my scarf, but shouldn't be a problem. Very, very, very tight against your neck. And you've got two options. You can either go backwards, or my favorite for a beginner, and this is, you've noticed what I've kind of been doing, is to bring it up. So very tight. Bring it up. Now when we get to this point, this is what I couldn't show you before with the pink one, is I just take my hand up here and just push down here. It makes sense because there's a pocket here that you can't go any further, and there's a pocket here that you can't go any further. And all I'm doing is just flattening it out. And then I take it and I crisscross it. That's all it is. It shouldn't fall down when you're doing this, especially you saw I just kicked my head back. It just gives it a bit more chance against gravity. And that's all that is to start with. I'm going to do one extra complicated step. You could definitely just tie it off at this stage, but this gorgeous scarf has little tassels at the end. So if you just tied it off, that's great. That will look really pretty. So that will look like this. But I've just crisscrossed it. And I'm going to bring it back up. And I'm going to take all these beautiful tassels and tuck them back into this bit here. So what you've got to do is you've got to get your finger under there. And once your finger's under there, you get yourself the space to just tuck, tuck, tuck. I always use just one finger because you don't want to make too much of a disruption there. Okay, and then with the other one, so right now it's kind of looking a little bit unneat, just kind of random little there, which doesn't make sense. But with the second one, and this is where the tassels really come through and shine, I'm going to very carefully pull them through. Not carefully enough, I just undid it a little bit, but that's okay. Pull them through and give myself like a little design feature there. And then you can very comfortably, very easily just adjust things. If you're ever feeling insecure about how your scarf is sitting, just take a bobby pin and you can connect things with a bobby pin pretty easily. Just I use dress pins, but I don't know if I would use dress pins from the get-go. But you definitely, absolutely can if you feel confident. The other thing that something like this would look really cool with is a little accessory. So I'm just going to take this little beetle and feed him through like that. How cool is that here? So you've got this gorgeous design. The beetle's actually going to help it hold it all together as well. Not that it needs much help, but if you didn't want the tassels, you can definitely leave them under there as well. That's another option, just hiding them away like that. I love them. Any excuse for a bit of tasseling like that. Why a thin pashmina like this as opposed to like that blue one, where is it, that one there, where it's nice and heavy and beautiful for a cold day? The reason is that this is much less work to deal with. It's thinner, it's the same size, it's the same amount of fabric, but it just means that it's a little easier to work with. The other good thing about the thinner or the wide weaves, I don't know if you can see there's quite a decent gap between each weave, is that it tends to have a bit more flex to it, so you can really tug at it and get that little bit more length out of it as you're tying around your head. So it does go on a little tighter as well. Pashminas in general have a bit of tug to them because it's woven fabric. But anyway, this is also one of my favorites because anybody can wear an animal print. Anyone. Challenge me in the comments. Honestly, anyone can wear an animal print. I'm saying it here and now. Especially this kind of neutral tone, the brown, beigey tones. At the end of the day, no matter what skin color you are, you're a brown or a beigey tone. Just either deeper or fairer. But we're all some shade of beige, right? So this variable tones where you've got the really pale, kind of almost grey, kind of potato sack, I call it beige. You've got the beautiful yellowy mustard tones through there, the yellowy sort of tones through there, and you've also got a bit of blackish brown, or combination of black and brown as well. So you've got the dark and the light contrast. And I'm wearing a grey jumper, and I have absolutely no qualms putting these two things together. It's such a staple. It's the same thing as a leopard pair of shoes. It's such a staple. That's the difference between a headscarf and a neck scarf as well. Like, I wouldn't put this as a neck scarf with this jumper. It wouldn't make sense. I don't need more collar, I don't want more texture against the jumper, but it's just separate enough where it becomes a hair accessory, not a clothing accessory. But it does go with the whole story. And that just gives that creativity, that edge, that little bit of extra femininity that sometimes women do claim that they lose when they enter a marriage, when they enter that partnership. This is just another expression of self as a mum, as a woman, as a head of a household, where you can walk out of your dressing room in the morning with a smile on your face, which makes a huge impact to the household. And it just sets you up in the right tone, in the right heart, in the right head space for the day. Okay, my lovelies, I hope you loved this video. I hope it's going to help a young bride or a new bride out there. I definitely wish I saw a video like this when I first got married, because it took a while to figure things out, and I hope that I've just answered some burning questions for some brides out there with this video. So if you know someone who's getting married, please do share this video with them. I hope that it will give them some information to get them started. If you haven't joined this wonderful family yet, please go ahead and click the subscribe button. It's that big red thing. Turn it grey. If it's grey, you're already a part of this wonderful channel, and I'm so glad you're here. For more bits and pieces, do head over to Instagram. There's always fun things being uploaded there. Let me know in the comments what's your go-to scarf and what you wish you knew when you first started wrapping. Wherever you are around the world, my lovelies, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying happy and staying above all the things that are going around in the world and bringing light and happiness to those around you. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Bye.